Hey everybody, Bat Tracy back again for Wysadwta, movies, music, media, and more. It's our new intro, you better get used to it, because that's what it is now, and I really like it. That's our channel name, it's Wysadwta. I'm Bat Tracy, I think I said that, but this is first time views and reviews. Cue the music. Alright, hey guys, I'm back doing another episode of First Time Views and Reviews. Got quite a bit of movies to review in this episode. I'm really excited to do this one also. Also got a TV show to do in this one. I've only done that once before for The Defenders. I think that was an episode, I think it was episode 9. I'm not sure though. But yeah, let's get into it, I guess. Blah. Alright, so the first movie I got to review today is Prince Avalanche with Neil Hirsch, Paul Rudd, and it was directed by David Gordon Green, who he's also directed Pineapple Express and Your Highness, a couple other things. I know he was originally an indie director. He did like 3 big budget Hollywood movies, and after Your Highness failed, he was like, I'm going to go back to doing indie. And so Prince Avalanche, this was a pretty good movie actually. So it's basically like Paul Rudd is basically, I think he's engaged to Neil Hirsch's sister, and so they're basically set in the 80s, and they're basically painting like the lines on a road, like that's what they're doing for the whole summer. And he kind of took him under his wing, give him a job, give him opportunity, teach him things, and it's basically just like these two guys just trying to get along, out in the wilderness alone, basically. And this was a really well done movie. I was reading about it while I was watching it. It was shot in the span of like 2 weeks or something, very short. Nobody knew about it. It was very low key. Filming. I don't know how to say it. It was a low key, movie. But it was really well done. And there's also a character in this movie, because all these houses burned down, so they were going to repaint the roads and everything. But there's one lady who they stumbled upon while filming, and they got to put her in the movie. And all her scenes in this movie where she's explaining all the stuff that happened to her home and everything, it's her real life that actually happened in real life to her home, and she lost her house and everything. And it's just really sad when you think about that. Your house burns down, you lose everything basically. But it's really cool that they were able to put that in the film and give this lady, just give her story something, because it just was awesome. But I highly recommend this. This was a really good movie. We actually got this at Dollar Tree for $1, but this was a really good movie. I really enjoyed this one. Check this out if you haven't seen it, because it was really well done. Then next up, I got Shark Swarm. This is from the Maneater series. I'm sorry, I've been awake for like over 24 hours now, so I'm getting a little bit loopy. So this is from the Maneater series. As you guys know, I've been trying to collect all these. I got 3 of them now. I did Croc in the previous update, or first time using reviews. This one, though, did not like it at all. I enjoyed Croc. I know I was hating on it a little bit in the past episode, but I did enjoy it. This movie, though, is terrible. Oh my god. So it stars Daryl Hannah, John Schneider, Armand Assante, F. Murray Abraham. And so basically this one was about it's about a town of fishermen, and they can't catch any fish because this one guy's been trying to buy all the another movie about people trying to buy all the land. So this guy's trying to buy all the land to turn this whole city into one big hotel complex and all this. And so he's been pouring radioactive goo into the water to kill all the fish and wildlife. Basically, he's been turning all these sharks into mutated super sharks, and they've been killing everybody and stuff. And I don't know, this movie was terrible. It was garbage. The plot was just dumb. John Schneider was the only good thing about this. I don't know. I didn't like this movie one bit. I love shark attack movies, but the sharks looked fake. All the CGI and special effects were just absolute garbage. just a really, really bad movie. And it wasn't even that gory. Like, it could have been so much more gory. There's hardly any blood. Really, the only blood they show is, the red in the water. But yeah, I don't know what it was. This movie was not very good. And it was fucking long. Holy shit. This was a Sci-Fi Channel movie. But it was 2 hours and 45 minutes long. Like, that's insane. The plot doesn't hold up for that long. It's just like, I was watching it and I was like, I started at like 2 a.m. and it was like 5:30 by the time I got done with this movie. Like, it was just ridiculous how long it was. It's just a fucking long movie. It just wasn't good. And Daryl Hannah, I don't know if she's got Botox or whatever, but she's fucking ugly. Like, she looked terrible in this movie. Like, her face just looked like plastic. But yeah, I don't know. I hated this movie so much. It was absolute garbage. Next up, finally watched Edward Scissorhands. This is a movie I've been meaning to watch forever, it feels like. Because I'm a huge Tim Burton fan, huge Johnny Depp fan. Just, I don't know why I never got around to watching this, but I finally did. And man, did I love it. It's nowhere near my favorite Johnny Depp or Tim Burton film. But I really did like this. I wasn't sure I was going to like it because I knew what the plot was and everything. So I wasn't really sure. But when I was watching it, I was like, man, this was a really good movie. I really enjoyed this one. It's basically, if you don't know, I'm shocked you didn't. Maybe there's people like me who just hadn't seen this movie. So basically, it's about Johnny Depp plays Edward, who he lives in a mansion up on a hill by himself because his creator was building him as a person, but he didn't have enough time to make his hands before he died. So Edward has scissor hands, and so basically, this Avon lady, who's played by Diane West, she basically finds him, brings her to a home in suburbia, and, tries to, just make him part of her life. It works out well. Like, he's, grooming dogs and cutting people's hair and stuff and trimming bushes. But, then a bunch of different things happen, and Anthony Michael Hall is in this movie. He kind of doesn't really get along with Edward so much because, when he's Winona Ryder's boyfriend, and she starts falling for Edward. And yeah, I don't know. It was really good. Really, really well done movie. I really liked it. And I'm tempted not to give spoilers, but at the same time, this movie's, almost 30 years old. Anyway, there's a scene where a character dies, and it kind of is out of place in the movie, just for the character that Edward is. But when I was reading about the movie, Tim Burton put that in as, he called it a high school fantasy that the jock gets killed, and I was like, I see that. I totally agree with that. I don't know. This is a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. Definitely nowhere near my favorite Tim Burton movie or anything. But I really liked it. I definitely watch this again. And also, digital code for anyone who wants it. There you go. And guys, I love giving out the digital codes in these videos. I like being able to give back. I don't use digital codes at all. But please, if you do end up taking the digital code, please comment down below, just letting people know that you've taken it, so people don't try and use the code. It's not a big deal if you don't leave a comment. It's just common courtesy. So please, if you would, just please leave a comment down below, letting people know that you have taken the digital code. Also got another one, Anchorman 2. For some reason, we had the digital code. I never did anything with it, so I might as well just give that one away. There it is. I'll put both of them on the screen right there. So yeah, whoever takes those, you can have them. Just please comment down below and let me know that you've taken them. Alright, this next movie was sent to me by Breaking Glass Pictures to review. Got this one for free from them to review, so I'm doing that. I'm going to send this video out to them. Hopefully you guys like it. I'm having trouble remembering your name. I'm sure if I could go in my email check. I think Mark and Scott. I think that's who I talked to. So shout out to you guys. Thanks for sending me this. So this was Jesus. It's a foreign language film, Spanish language film. It's definitely an LGBT movie. And I'll say, I was skeptical about this movie at first because, I only speak English. I don't speak Spanish at all. So I was like, Spanish language film, not sure about it. But I absolutely loved this movie. It was really, really well done. You have to watch with the subtitles. It has English subtitles, so I was really thankful for that. So yeah, Jesus, it's about an 18-year-old kid who's in a dance competition with his friends, and he lives with his dad, Hector, but, they don't really get along very well. They kind of really only communicate by watching TV and stuff. So, they don't have the best father-son relationship. But so Jesus is in a dance team, and they're in a dance competition. They end up losing the dance competition, and so their friends, they get fucking just trashed on alcohol and drugs, and they go and they find this kid in a park, and basically they end up just beating this kid, taking pictures of it while they beat him and stuff, and they basically beat him so bad that they put him in a coma. And so Jesus, all his friends are like, you can't talk about this, you can't say shit, and he's like, no, it's fine, it's fine. Then he kind of feels bad about his actions, and he wants to go to the police and turn himself in and be like, it was me that did this. And so he ends up going to his dad and explaining all this, and he's like, I did this wrong, and please forgive me and stuff. And so it's kind of that where his dad tries to help him out of the situation that he got himself into. I will say I really enjoyed this movie. I wasn't sure I was gonna like it because it's Spanish language, but I really liked this movie. So thank you for sending it to me, Scott and Mark, Breaking Glass Pictures. I will say, though, there's one scene in this is very, very homosexual. I was not prepared for it. Like, I was just watching the movie, and all of a sudden, just two dicks. I was like, what is this, gay porn? Like, I have no issues with gay people at all. Don't take this as homophobia. I was just like, it was totally out of place in this movie, I felt like. Because, like, before this, there's a scene where he was getting a blowjob from a chick. It's full nudity, by the way. There's full nudity in this movie, so viewer, be warned. And there's a funny line, too, after he got the blowjob. His one friend's like, did you fuck her? And he's like, no, but I made bukkake. And I thought that was a really funny line. And then afterwards, there's like a minute and a half, 2-minute scene of just gay sex. Two dicks rubbing on each other and stuff. Reach rounds, jerking each other off. I don't know. It felt out of place in the movie. I totally get it, but I don't know. It just felt out of place to me. But besides that, I did really enjoy this film. Like I said, it is Spanish language, so I was really skeptical if I'd be able to get into it or whatever. But I found myself just endlessly entertained by this. I really enjoyed this one. And I'm not too into drama either, but I don't know what it was about this. I really liked it. I've been honestly telling everybody about it. I really do hope this movie gets pretty popular because I really liked this one. It actually made me want to check out more foreign language films, I guess. I don't know I really liked this one. It was really well done. Next one, this is a movie I've seen multiple times, so I'm not going to go too into detail, but I did want to mention it. I ended up getting 8 Heads in Duffel Bag on the Twilight Time release. I'm not going to really do a review on this, because, I've seen this movie so many times, and if you haven't seen this, definitely go check this out. I think the DVD is out of print, so it might be a little bit hard to find. We did have the DVD version, but now I got the Blu-ray, which the Blu-ray is limited to 3,000 copies, so I'm not sure if it's still available, but definitely if you want this, go get it quick, because it'll sell out. But I wanted to mention this. The Blu-ray transfer on this movie was incredible. It looked so good on Blu-ray. I just watched this the other night, and I was just blown away by how good this looked on Blu-ray. It was just amazing. So definitely go get this one if you haven't, and if it's still available. I highly recommend it. Next up, a Shark Attack movie that was actually really amazing. Shark Night. I remember when this came out. It came out in like 2011. It's from the director of The Final Destination, David R. Ellis. He's also directed a whole bunch of other things. I think this was his last film that he directed before he died. I could be wrong, but I think it is. Yeah, he also directed The Final Destination, not Final Destination. This is like the 5th or 4th one. I'm not sure. But this was a really well done movie. And the cast was insane. It's got Sarah Paxton, Dustin Milligan, Chris Carmack, Catherine McPhee, Donald Logue, who I really, really like Donald Logue. I've liked him ever since Grounded for Life. He's the only thing that's bearable to me in Ghost Rider. He was in that show Knights of Prosperity on ABC. I think that only lasted about a season. But he's in Blade, or maybe Blade Trinity. He's in one of the Blade movies. I've always just really been a big fan of Donald Logue. And then also Joel David Moore is in this, and he's really funny too. I always like him. He's in Dodgeball, Deuce Has at the beginning. He's and Grandma's Boy. I don't know, I've always really liked that guy. But this movie was really awesome. So it's basically like, a group of friends go to Sarah Paxton's beach house. Like her dad owns a beach house on a secluded island or something. So her and her friends all go for vacation. And it turns out, like, there's killer sharks in the water. Like, tons of random sharks, like hammerhead sharks. Like, all these different kinds of sharks in the waters. And they end up attacking people. Well, attacking this group of friends. And, they're not really sure how they got there or anything. It turns out the sharks have cameras on them. And it turns out, like, a group of people... I won't give spoilers away as to who it is. But there's some people in this movie that end up... you find out that they were the ones who released the sharks into the waters, because basically they have cameras attached to the sharks, and they're filming the sharks eat people, and then they're selling the footage online to people who want to see the really hardcore shit. I really enjoyed this movie. This was a dollar Blu-ray at Dollar Tree, but this one was it was really, really well done. I really liked it. Like I've mentioned multiple times, I really like Shark Attack movies. Some of my favorite horror films. And this was just crazy. Great cast, great premise, great special effects, just great everything. I really enjoyed this one. And this does have the digital copy right here. And I'd love to be able to get this one out, because this is a really great film. But the sad thing is it's the one where it has the digital copy disc. So you actually need the disc to be able to get the digital copy. So I'm sorry about that. I'd love to be able to give this one out, because this was a really good film. But I'm not able to, because you need the disc. So it's probably just garbage to me. So I feel bad about that, but definitely go check this one out. Like I said, this was $1 at Dollar Tree. So go to your local Dollar Tree. Definitely check if they still have this. And if it is, get it. I mean, it's only $1. Go get it. This was well worth it. This is a great film. I'd pay upwards of $10 for this. This was truly awesome. Alright, next I've got World's Greatest Dad, with Robin Williams, written and directed by Bobcat Goldthwait. I think that's how you say his name. Goldthwait. I don't know how you say his name. I'm sorry, but this was a really strange movie. Lex has always talked about how he just doesn't like this movie, so I never got around to watching it, but I finally did, and this was a really good movie, like really well done. So basically, it's like Robin Williams is a single dad who's dating a teacher who doesn't really, want to go public about their relationship, and he's got this son named Kyle who's just an absolute fucking piece of garbage. Just a horrible person. Like, his son Kyle is just like super, super into just the weirdest sex stuff, and it's all that's on his mind all the time. Just all he talks about is just really weird sex acts and stuff, and just he's a despisable person. But it turns out that his son is into autoerotic asphyxiation. If you don't know what that is, it's basically choking yourself while you jerk off. It's really weird. Anyways, so he's into that, and his dad catches him a couple times, and he's like, you gotta knock that off. You could die. Like, this is seriously dangerous. Just stop it. Knock it off. Well, turns out he comes home one day, he goes into Kyle's room, Kyle died. He was jerking off, he died. So, he didn't want to embarrass his son, so basically he made it look like he hung himself in his closet. He wrote a suicide note saying, like, oh, nobody understood me, I was just misunderstood and all this. It turns out the entire school gets a hold of the suicide note, and basically Kyle becomes like a folk hero, like just a legend for his suicide. And basically Robin Williams is like a failed author. He's wrote in all these books, but he's never been able to get published. And basically, so the suicide note that he wrote for Kyle gets published. So he's basically like living the fame. He's going on all these TV shows and talk shows and stuff, but his son didn't really commit suicide. He died from autoerotic asphyxiation. It's just a really weird premise for a movie, but I really enjoyed it. I really like black comedies, dark comedies where, the situation is just really weird and depressing, but I don't know what it was. This was a really well done movie. I really enjoyed it. Don't know what Lex was talking about when he said he didn't like it, because this was great. It's actually probably one of my favorite Robin Williams movies of all time. So definitely check this one out if you haven't seen it, because this was a really good movie. Alright, next up got Adventures of Power. This was a really funny movie, like absolutely absurd movie, but it was so funny. It was just ridiculous. It's got Ari Gold, Michael McKean, Jane Lynch, Shoshana. Shoshana? I don't know how you say that. Shoshana Stern. I'm going to pronounce that so wrong. This one. Chao Chi Ling. That's totally wrong. I just totally mispronounced that. I'm sorry. And then Adrian Grenier. And this was just a really, really just, like I said, ridiculous, absurd movie. So it's like about power. Ari Gold plays a character named Power. And, I will say, his dad is Michael McKean. He's from Better Call Saul. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, I know him. That. But, so it's basically about Power. Him and his dad are coal miners, but Power doesn't want a coal mine. He loves drumming. His dad never bought him a drum set, so he's into air drumming. And, he just rocks out and stuff. And, he basically finds out about an air drumming contest. And so he goes to New York to train in air drumming and to, join this air drumming contest. And then there's like this world famous drummer who comes to join the contest because he's into air drumming, but, he plays real drums, so he doesn't want to be a fake drummer or whatever. And the bad guy's dad owns this coal mine, and his dad goes on strike for better pay. And there's a lot of things about this movie, but it just very, very well done movie. I really enjoyed this one. It's just absolutely ridiculous, but it was so funny. Like, and I mentioned it a few times, Major League, the scene where Charlie Sheen's character comes back at the end, they're all singing Wild Thing. It's my favorite movie scene of all time. I watch it on YouTube just all the time. I don't know why. The ending of this movie, the finale, it's creeping up there. Since I watched this, I've already watched the finale on YouTube just multiple times over. So I really enjoy the ending of this movie. Just really well done. It's, like I said, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's about air drumming. No real drumming, just air drumming. But it's such a funny movie. Definitely check this one out if you're able to, because it's really well done. I really enjoyed it. Alright, next up, I can't move around when I talk about this one. I'm going to put the poster here. I just got done watching The Tick, the new series on Amazon. It stars Peter, I'm going to pronounce his last name wrong. Peter Saranakowitz, or something like that. He's the British guy from Parks and Rec. He was Darth Maul in Star Wars. He's in a few other things I know. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. But, when the pilot got released last summer, I think, in 2016, and watching the pilot back then, I was like, I didn't really care for it. I'm such a huge fan of the Patrick Warburton Tick series that I was just like, I don't think this is going to hold up. I wasn't excited for it. Especially once I found out Patrick Warburton wasn't going to reprise the role, though he is an executive producer. But I was just like, I had mixed opinions about it, especially after watching the pilot. I didn't really care for the pilot all that much. But then the newest episode just got released. There's 5 episodes that got released, 6 total, counting the pilot. And then season 1's going to have 12, so there's going to be an additional 6 episodes, but just currently there's only 6. But oh my god, was this show great. Like, all the problems or issues I had with the pilot, where I just felt, the pilot was, I think it could have been funnier. I felt like the pacing was a little weird. I don't know. I just didn't like the pilot episode. But all the newer episodes, just phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. Really funny, really just oddball. Like I said, the actor Peter, whatever his last name is, I can't pronounce it. I'll put it on the screen maybe. He was great as a Tick. Like, I had my reservations, but just the way he delivers lines and stuff, it was absolutely hilarious. And then Arthur is pretty great in this too. I'm slipping on actor names. I feel like I should know it, but like I said, I've been up for over 24 hours, so my mind's a little wonky right now. But really enjoyed this show. I'm a huge fan of the Tick character. I love I remember the old cartoon. Used to watch that as a kid. Loved that. Love the Patrick Warburton. Never read any of the comics or anything, but I've always been a big fan of the Tick character, so I was really excited for this when it came out. Really ended up enjoying it. Definitely watch this if you have Amazon Prime. It's an Amazon Prime exclusive, but definitely watch this show. It's well worth it, and I can't wait for the other 6 episodes. And also Jackie Earle Haley is in this movie. He's known for playing Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare Before on Elm Street, the 2010 remake. He's also Rorschach in Watchmen. So he plays the Terror, the main bad guy. And, he's made kind of a career out of just playing really damaged characters. And that's a really cool thing about him. But I really like the show. I can't say enough how much I like it. So it's basically like, the Tick just randomly shows up out of nowhere. And he's like, oh, I'm a superhero. But there's no superheroes in the city anymore. Because all the superheroes were killed by the Terror. And Arthur, you guys know Arthur. He's the moth guy. He's got the wings. His superhero name is just Arthur. He watched his dad get killed by the Terror way back in the day. So he's got all these issues with superheroes. He's a little willy wampus, a little crazy. But, so basically he's got these conspiracy theories that the Terror is still alive, and he wants to prove it. Well, the Tick shows up. He ends up stealing the suit from some bad guys, which is the Arthur suit, the moth suit, the wings and everything. And so basically it's just the show trying to prove the Terror's still alive while all these bad guys are hunting down Arthur and the Tick, wanting to get the suit back, and it's really absurd. Just check this out if you haven't. Like, if you have Amazon Prime, if you have the ability to watch a show, definitely check this one out because it was really, really great. I can't wait for the next 6 episodes because I'm absolutely hooked. And the band Bastille did a cover of Basket Case by Green Day. Absolutely phenomenal. Go on, if you're watching this video, you're on YouTube already. When this video gets done, not right now, wait till the end of this video. After this video, definitely go check out the cover of that, because it's a great song. It was made exclusively for the Tick. But yeah, love the show. 2 thumbs way up. Can't wait for the next episodes. Alright, next up got Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's also got Bill Paxton and Rene Russo in this. This was a great movie. I remember when this came out. I remember seeing the trailer, and I really wanted to see this in theaters, but I never got around to seeing it. Finally picked this up at Pawn America. It does have digital, but I got this on a pawn shop. There is no code. Otherwise, I'd give it out. I'm sorry. My hair, I feel like it's just been weird these past couple days. But this was a great movie. Super dark. It's like, I don't even know how to describe the genre. It's like, it could be considered thriller. I don't know. I was laughing during this. I found it pretty funny. I think of it as like a black comedy / thriller, I don't know. But so it's like about Jake Gyllenhaal, who basically he steals like copper wiring from places and sells it to a place. And what's really cool about this is he's totally an anti-hero, or not even like a good person. He's a pretty shitty person. And they establish really early on, like the first scene in the movie, they establish that he is a bad person and he's not to be trusted. Because he's stealing copper wiring and all this from a security, I don't know what kind of, like a construction site or something. And a security guard comes. He ends up attacking the security guard and stealing the security guard's watch. So he's just a real asshole of a person. But he sells all the copper wiring and he asks for a job. And the guy's like, no, I don't hire thieves. And, he thinks that's funny. He leaves. Well, then he ends up seeing a car crash. And these guys show up with cameras to film the car crash, and then they end up selling it to news stations. It's a profession called stringers. And so he basically just starts doing that. He buys himself a camera. First he steals the guy's bike to sell the bike, enough to buy a camera and everything. And basically it's just him, filming crimes that happen, really grisly stuff, very, things that you don't necessarily see on the news, like lots of blood, lots of car accidents, just really violent stuff. And he gets so good at it that, he starts making good money. He's got an assistant and everything. But the crazy thing is, he starts messing with crime scenes, like moving bodies and stuff. And he breaks into a house before the cops even get there. But a really, really well done movie. It was directed by Dan Gilroy, who I don't know if this is his directorial debut, but he's done a ton of other things. This might be his directorial debut, I'm not sure though. Could be wrong, don't quote me on that. This was really, really good movie. Really enjoyed this one. I've always really been a big fan of Jake Gyllenhaal. Like Bubble Boy and Donnie Darko being my 2 favorites of his. This is definitely right there up with them now. Absolutely love this. Can't wait to watch it again because this is a really, really well done movie. Really enjoyed this one. Go check this out if you haven't seen it. Alright, next up got Serpent. This was, I'm pretty sure this is a Walmart exclusive DVD. It's not on Blu-ray, it's just DVD. Yeah, so it's a Walmart exclusive DVD. And I watched Cool Duder's video where he picked this one up, and I was really interested in it. And it's basically like about a couple who decided to go kind of like on a romantic getaway, camping in the woods. You know, the husband's working on this thing where he's looking for these rare beetles. And so he kind of kicks his partner off, and they go, you know, out to the woods together, spend some time together. But the wife, has been cheating on him, and he doesn't know this, and so basically they get trapped in their tent with a snake, and it's a black mamba, one of the most poisonous snakes in the world. If you get bit by it, you have 5 minutes to get anti-venom, or basically you're just dead. You're dead. And so, you know, they're in the tent with the snake, and they're trying not to get bit by the snake. They know that they could die at any point, and basically he finds out she's cheating. Lots of dark secrets get revealed, and I don't know. I enjoyed this movie, but this is a movie I will never watch again. I really don't like cheating, or things that have to do with cheating in relationships. It just really bothers me. It's like that and rape are two things that just really, really bother me. I'm very rarely affected by movies. This is one that I was just like, you know, it just put me in a really downer mood. And like I said, it was a really good movie, and I did enjoy it, but it was just unsettling. I don't know. And I love snake movies and like animal attack movies. This movie is just unsettling to me. It's very creepy and just very dark, and I don't know what it was. Just, I'll never watch this again. Really happy I bought it, really happy I watched it, but I will never watch this again. It was very, very creepy and unsettling. And there's a scene, I don't know if you guys know this about me. The thing that freaks me out the most is spiders and bugs. I'm a huge, I get freaked out by the creepy crawlies. I don't know, man. Anything with more than 6 legs just freaks me out. But, you know, there's a scene where he ends up finding the beetle that he's been looking for, and it kind of like crawls through his skin, and you can see it like under his skin. I don't know. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. I don't want. This was a really unsettling movie to me. Very creepy. I'm very rarely creeped out by movies, but this one just really bothered me. I don't know what it was. But yeah, it stars Sarah Dumont and Tom Ainsley, and it was written and directed by Amanda Evans. But yeah, check this one out. If you like really creepy movies, or if you're alright with cheating and stuff, check this one out. Like I said, cheating is something that really bothers me, so I'm not into movies where that's a main topic, which is all this movie is about. It's more so about cheating than it is even about the snake. It's just a very dark, twisted movie, and I don't know, it creeped me out. I actually had trouble sleeping after watching this one. Like, that's how much it just really freaked me out. I don't know. Alright, last up, going from a movie that totally creeped me out to a movie that totally changed my life. This is one of my all-time favorite movies now. Just watched it. Oh my god. Fight Club. Holy shit. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Like, this was crazy. I've always heard good things about this movie, and people are always like, man, you gotta watch that movie. How have you not seen it? I knew what the story was. Going into this movie, I knew Edward Norton and Brad Pitt were the same person. If you don't know that, I'm sorry, spoiler alert, but fuck you. There you go. Everybody, I feel like, knows that, so, I wasn't shocked by it, I feel like this, if you didn't know that, you'd be very shocked by that fact. And I'm sure when it first came out, people were just lost their mind over it. But I knew that going into it. But this movie was crazy. Oh my god. So Edward Norton, basically he's an insomniac. He has trouble sleeping. And I relate to this movie so much because he doesn't like people very much. He has trouble sleeping. It's totally me. Like I said, I've been up for over 24 hours now. Probably closer to 30 hours now. I always have trouble sleeping at night. I don't know what it is. But, so, yeah, basically he starts going to support groups for all these different things like testicular cancer. I think one of them was an abuse one. There's all these one's alcohol abuse, just all these different social groups that he starts going to, and he goes to testicular cancer one, and he meets Bob, a guy with huge titties, bitch tits as they're referred to in the movie. But yeah, and he ends up meeting Tyler Durden, played by Brad Pitt, on an airplane, and they form a fight club together. Or basically, they just beat the shit out of everybody. I shouldn't even be talking about this. This is rule number 1. Don't talk about Fight Club. I guess that's the end of the video. Anyways, so, back to this movie. So basically, yeah, they start a fight club. More and more people keep joining the fight club. And I don't know. It's just something about this. And then, Jared Leto even has a small part in this. And hey, comment down below, is his name Jared Leto or Jared Leto? I've never known how to pronounce it, but in the next episode of the Wysadwta podcast, we go into a little bit of detail about that. So definitely let me know down below how you pronounce it. But this is just a crazy movie. So the fight club just gets bigger and bigger. There's different fight clubs in different cities, and basically they start doing just random acts of mayhem where they beat up a random person. They start blowing things up. Just the authorities start getting really interested in the whole fight club aspect and everything, and just I don't know. This was just a crazy movie. Can't stress enough how much I like it. Like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite movies now. It totally just changed my life after watching it. Just I connected with this movie so well, and I would love to join a fight club and just get the ever-living shit kicked out of me and just beat someone else up. I don't know. Just, I would love to do that. If anyone wants to fight me, hey, comment down below. I don't know, we'll set something up maybe. But yeah, this is just a really good movie. I don't even know what else to say about this besides just I love it. And you are not special. Remember that. You are inconsequential. Okay? Life does not matter. We are just specks of dust in a universe that's infinite. And you don't matter. You're not special. So I feel like that's the perfect way to end this video. You're not special. But also, I do have the digital code for Fight Club, so there it is. I'll put it on the screen right there, obviously. And like I did say earlier, if you end up taking the digital code, please comment down below and let everybody know so that multiple people don't try and take the code. If you're the first to grab it, kudos to you, but please comment down below and let people know you took it. Alright, so yeah, that was First Time Views and Reviews, episode 11, I think now. I had quite a bit of movies in this one. I had 12 things in this. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so like I've said, I think I've mentioned before, this is the most fun I have in front of the camera doing this series. Absolutely love reviewing movies, love talking about these, especially movies that I just watched for the first time. It's just really fun to me. So I really appreciate if at any point you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up down below. Really appreciate it. Just lets me know that you enjoy the content that I make. You can follow me at Twitter and Instagram, mainly Instagram. I don't use Twitter so much anymore. At BatTracy01 right there. Make sure you comment down below. Tell me any movies you've seen for the first time. Any movies you'd like to see me review. I got a request to do Ginger Snaps. So I'm going to look for that. If I see it, I'll buy it and watch it and review it. Go to wouldyouspendaydayWithTimAllen.com. That's our website. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wysadwta. That'll be right there. As always, I'm Bat Tracy for First Time Views and Reviews. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. I don't know if I said that, but make sure you subscribe, because we always got content coming. Don't know what that is. Finger guns. I'm going to finger bang you. Alright. Bye-bye.